Good morning. It's a rainy day. It hasn't rained in New Jersey in I think 2 months. We had a little sprinkle a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't had, our reservoirs like almost completely shot. They're really low. So my videos are usually, for those of you who follow me, my videos are usually on faith, But this one I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about retirement, okay? And yes, I am recently retired at a young age, younger than most people usually get to retire. But not by choice. Not by choice at all. I wasn't planning on retirement right now. And, but early this year, I lost my job, and it is what it is. So I was left with the dilemma, what do I want to do? Do I want to go back and look for another job? Do I want to say, to heck with it, I'm just going to retire? And luckily, I'm in a situation where, financially, where I can afford to do it. So I sat down with my financial advisor, and, I decided that I can do it, so I'm going to do it. So now I'm left with a couple of things, and I want to discuss that in a little bit. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, if you are in a position where you can retire as early as you can, you should do it. You should do it. There are many reasons why. I know some people can't. Most people say they can't. But the reality is, a great majority of people can do it. The thing is, how bad do they want to do it? They just have to put themselves in a position where they can do it. They have to cut back on some things. Maybe you don't want to go on vacation, take a extravagant vacation every year or every 2 years, every year or two, long destinations that are going to cost you a lot of money. Maybe you want to stay more local. Maybe you want to stop using the credit cards. Maybe you want to say, hey, you know what? This is the new TV that's out, but mine is still working pretty good, so I'm going to keep mine. It's funny because when flat screen TVs came out years ago, we wanted to get one. But the thing that always kept me and my wife from getting it was, like, we had an older TV, but it worked good. The screen was good. It was in good condition. It wasn't, it was really, really good condition. So I never, I've always been the kind of person that if something is working, as you get to see the bridge, my own bridge behind me, and I'll turn around and you can see the huge container ship that's coming. Hopefully, I'll still be recording when it's underneath the bridge so we can see it. So anyway, so going back to the TV, we didn't buy it. So if something is working, and it's so much, especially in the American culture, everybody wants the new and greatest thing, the most updated thing, when what they have already works. Your car is working, and usually when we get cars, when we buy a car, we usually have that car for years. We pay it off and we use it, we run it until it's not until the point where we're putting too much money into it to repair it. That's basically what I wanted to say. I just got rid of my Toyota Camry that I had for about 13 years, a couple of years ago, and I got my Tacoma. So anyway, you can get yourself in a position where you can retire even earlier than you think. And the reason I want to say this is because I was just watching a video that somebody posted about retirement, about these people died before they were able to retire. And basically what it is, and it reminded me of many of the jobs that I had in the past, and how people just, especially I worked at a utility company, and so often I heard people say, especially guys, oh, I want to work 3 more years. And I'm like, well, why do you want to work 3 more years? You're already into mid to late 60s, or you're already 70 years old. And they always say, well, I'm looking to buy this property. I'm looking to buy this house. And I think to myself, you're in your late 60s and early 70s. Why do you want to buy another house? And these guys made good money, so they all had 1 or 2 houses. Why do you want to buy another one? Why do you want to buy more land? Why do you want more material things? Why do you want this when you can just retire and enjoy what we have? So anyway, a lot of them did what they wanted to do. They worked, the extra 3, 4, 5 years. They retire, and almost to a person, less than a year, 2 years, they die. A lot of them pass away. Very few of them got to really enjoy all that time. Look at that big ship. Very few of them really got to enjoy the retirement age, the retirement years. And so, right now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I had my plans of what I wanted to do when I retired. And, but it wasn't yet. It was going to be another couple of years down the road. At least 3, 4, 5 years. But now I'm thrusted into this, so I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? Because I can't go forward with the plans that I had planned for, 4 or 5 years from now. And it has nothing to do with finances. It has to do with other things that I don't want to get into right here. So as I look at that and I say, you know what? I can't do it. And what am I going to do? So I decided that, just live one day at a time. I'm here right now. It's raining. I'm walking in the park. It's drizzling, actually. I'm walking in the park, and I'm enjoying it, And the beauty about, retirement, and I saw a video a couple of months ago, and the guy was talking about this. He's like, one of the beauties about retiring is that you can do whatever you want when you want. You don't have to eat lunch when it's lunchtime. You don't have to eat breakfast when it's typical breakfast time. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You can choose today to not do nothing. Or you can choose if you want to go to the store. It's a big difference between choosing and having to do it. And that's what he said, being retired. Let me turn around so you can see the ship. So, he said, being retired, you get to choose more than you think. You get to choose what you do, when you do it. And I'm talking about, obviously, the little things. And as far as, people want to travel a lot when they retire. But you have to choose wisely. And like I said before, do you want to go away to a faraway land that's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, and you can only do it once every 2 years or so, or every year, unless you're financially set? Then you shouldn't be watching this video anyway. But as you, so you can choose, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to go to Greece this year, but then I can't take a vacation for the next year or two. You can say, you know what, I'm going to go to Cape Cod, which is not too far from me, in Massachusetts, which is beautiful up there. If you never got to go to Cape Cod, go to Cape Cod. Martha's Vineyards, Nantucket, it's beautiful. Hyannis, where the Kennedys are from. So it's beautiful up there. So you go and you spend a weekend, and you dish out, $1,000, $2,000. And then a couple of months later, you can go to another one. You can go to Key West, which I love Key West. I go to Key West, Florida a lot. We try to go there at least once, if possible, twice a year. Or you can go out to the Grand Canyon, which we did a couple of years ago. And that's a little more expensive for me because I'm all the way out on the East Coast, but it was beautiful. And we spent 10 days there. It was gorgeous. So you get to pick and choose what you want to do, but you got to choose wisely. What do you want to do? And for the people who say, I can't retire because I can't afford it, think again. Start looking at what you're spending your money on. Are you going out to eat every day, which that can get really expensive, especially with the price of food? Are you, buying a new car every year or every 3 years? Or are you, doing what you have and cutting back on the things? Are you going to the mall and saying, I'm just going to go walk around, or I'm going to go to, to the stores? Because you're going to wind up buying things that you really don't need. I mean, I see people, especially in this country, who have storage bins. We have all these huge storage warehouses that were built up, especially around my area, because people have so much junk that they can't keep it in their house. How crazy is that you go and spend money on things you don't need. Now you have too much, and now you have to spend money on renting a place to store the things that you don't need. It's ludicrous. It's madness. It's complete madness. As I hope you enjoyed seeing the ship go underneath the bridge. It's really close. They actually that bridge was actually a little bit lower a couple of years ago, and they raised it. It was amazing how they raised it. And just to allow these huge container ships to come through. They used to come through with container ships, but not the big, massive ones. Some of them you'll see that, sometimes I see some of them that looks like they're going to hit the bridge because it's so they're so high up. But that also leads into what I'm talking about. You see these containers, all these containers on these ships, and we have, I mean, if I go to the other park, you'll see so many containers docked in Newark. Thousands, and each one of these hold thousands of containers. Thousands. It's the materialistic goods. A lot of these are necessities, but a lot of the things in these containers are just materialistic goods to feed the flesh. You know, so all I'm saying is, I want to end with this. If you want to retire earlier, I know some of you probably more than likely can't, but I say the majority of you probably can. You just have to pick and choose wisely on what you want to do, how you want to spend your money, how you want to position yourself where you can retire. And even if you retire, you say, okay, now I got to live a little frugally, but there's things to do. I mean, I'll take a drive to the woods, to the mountains, which is not far from here, and I'll just go on hiking trails by myself. I'll go to Liberty State Park, which is, you know, a 5-10 minute drive for me. I'll go there and I'll do my runs there. I'll do my 4 or 5 mile runs, and I enjoy it. I go to my local park to do runs, and you know, we have a lot of nice nature trails, and sometimes I get there and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like running. I'm just gonna walk. And I leave my headphones in the truck. I leave my phone in. No, I take my phone because I take pictures. I love taking a lot of pictures. But I leave everything and just look at nature. I just look at the squirrels, listen to the birds, look at all the bird feeders that the volunteers put around the park. And, you know, it's just these things, the little things. I mean, what else do you want? You know, how complicated do you want to make your life? And so anyway, I just want to end that and say that, you know, look at what you want to do. And as I'm getting wet, look at what you want to do, and you can do it. You can do a lot of the things that you really want to do. The thing is, how do you get there? And what do you do about it? You might have to sacrifice some things, but is it really a sacrifice when the things that you are buying, the things that you're feeding your flesh with, are really not beneficial to you? So anyway, I hope this makes you think. One thing I wanted to say is the Bible doesn't talk about retirement. It talks a lot about work. But I'm going to leave you with this message from Pastor Charles Stanley, who passed away 2 years ago. He's one of my favorite pastors. He always used to say, we don't retire from life. We retire from our jobs, okay? And we need to find something to do after we retire. And as a Christian, if you're a Christian out there, you should find things that you can do that will honor God, that will glorify God, that will please God, things that will do unto others, as the Lord says, do unto others, you know, as you want done to yourself. Help others, encourage others, volunteers, soup kitchens, whatever it may be. Don't be selfish. Do for others. So anyway, God bless you, and I hope this video helped you.